Welcome back to Normal Baseball. Today we are continuing our 2023 Will Be Team Projection series. Today we have the Toronto Blue Jays. Let's get into it. What's going on? Welcome back to yet another Normal Baseball 2023 Will Be Team Projection episode. This is a series where we just project how every team will do and preview every team's roster. Today we have the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm Alex Normal Dog. That is Lewis. We thank you in advance for listening, watching, and if you enjoy, make sure to subscribe or follow the podcast and share with your friends. We would really appreciate it. Yeah. Let's do it. So, today, like I said, we have the Toronto Blue Jays. Earlier this month, we sat down and we made a power ranking of every team in baseball. We graded every team in baseball on a scale of 1 to 10 based on 7 different categories. We totaled the scores of all 7 categories, and we saw who had the best team, best total score. The Toronto Blue Jays fell to the 7th best team in baseball, and the 3rd best team in the American League. The 7 different aspects that we graded them 1 to 10 on: lineup, bench, defense, rotation, bullpen, coaching, and energy. So we're going to run through each one, tell you why we picked that number, and kind of talk about their team and roster and their expectations a little bit. So you want to get right into it, Lewis, as always.
Let's jump right into it, baby.
Their lineup. We gave their lineup an 8.5 out of 10. Very high expectations for this lineup this season. Would you like me to rattle it off?
Please do.
This lineup is looking like George Springer in right field, Bo Bichette at shortstop, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at first base, Alejandro Kirk behind the plate catching, Dalton Varsho, a pickup from the Diamondbacks, in left field, Matt Chapman at third base for the 2nd season in a row, newly acquired free agent Brandon Belt at DH, Whit Merrifield, a guy they traded for last season, didn't see too much playing time or didn't make much of an impact, playing second base. And center field, another free agent pickup in Kevin Kiermaier. I would just like to say, I want to shine some light on how good of a season Bo Bichette had last year. That's what I want to start with, because I feel like Bo Bichette's season last year was highly, criminally, dare you say, underrated. First, let me start with the man came 11th in MVP voting. So that's just the tip of the iceberg. He played 159 games with, in today's game of baseball, playing that many games in a season is very impressive. He batted .290. He turned it up in the second half of the season. Yes, he was not an all-star, but like I said, he turned it up in the second half of the season, had a really good end to the year, had an .802 OPS, had 24 homers, 43 doubles.
Oh my God.
Along with 93 RBIs and 13 stolen bases. Bo Bichette put together such a nice season that I would like to highlight, and I'm glad I got that off my chest.
Should we clap it up?
Clap it up for Bo Bichette. We love you, Bo.
Let's go, Bo Flow.
Bo Flow, it knows. He really turned it up. He was a big part of this lineup in the second half of the season. I feel like we need to talk about Vladdy, too, because he did get worse last season. That's the fact of the matter. When you look at his 2021, he would have won MVP if it weren't for Shohei Ohtani. Last season, that was not the case. Yes, he had 32 home runs, 35 doubles, 97 RBIs. But when you compare it to the 2021, it was worse. Do I think that if he maintains what he did last year, he'll still be amazing? Yes, of course. He had an amazing season last year. But considering we've seen what he can do, it makes us want more. And I think we do want more. We expect more. We expect the superstar level. This is all-star level, all-star, all-MLB. This is superstar level, but we want MVP caliber. What do you think about Vlad? Do you have any thoughts on Vlad?
Love the guy. I think he's just such a great piece for not just the Toronto Blue Jays, but the organization of baseball as a whole. Love the guy. Love the way that he plays baseball. And I'm really hoping that he has an amazing rebound season coming off of 2022. One thing that I do just want to touch on really quick, like Alex mentioned, all of his numbers did fall a little bit. However, one number that I think it was actually kind of a good thing that it fell, however I wish that all the numbers stayed the same, was the home run ball. Obviously, last year he struck out 116 times.
Glad that it fell.
Yes, because I think it's a step in the right direction for him because very easily, and we saw it in 2021, he could be a 300 hitter. Very easily. He has the skill and ability to be a 300 hitter. And I think that part of contributing to a team that has this joint goal and that is high in our power rankings that could win a World Series this year, genuinely, is you need to be able to hit in certain situations and not just swing for the fences. And I'm really hoping that we see his home run number stay around the same, 32, 35, like in that area, and then bring down the strikeouts and the batting average will come naturally. Everything else will come naturally. I just think that it's good to see that he's not just swinging for the fences. Not to say that in 2021 that's what he did, but it's definitely a step in the right direction, in my opinion. If you are the Toronto Blue Jays, it is a step in the right direction.
I'm going to have to disagree with you.
I know it's a very hot take. However, I'm going to stick with my guns.
Now let me ask you this. How are you going to defend that when he hit 311 in 2021 while also hitting 48 home runs?
And just an all-around amazing season. Like you mentioned, would have been MVP had it not been the two-way capability of Shohei Ohtani.
Last season he wasn't swinging for the fence. 116 strikeouts is not a lot.
I'm not saying that it is.
For 160 games?
I'm not saying that it is.
I feel like if he did play 161 games, like if he played that extra game, he would have had 48 home runs. He would have hit 16 home runs in that last game. I'm kidding. But he's not striking. I'm going to have to... I understand you like your hot take. You know it's a hot take. I am just going to be the one to point out the obvious flaws in it of the year before he hit 311, struck out less, and hit 48 home runs. So, yes, all around great season, I understand, but who's to say he can't do that again? He's got power.
Not me, but I do.
Okay, I respect. Step in the right I respect your opinion. I think.
Come on.
I respect it. I think it's flawed. I can respect it while thinking it is flawed and disagree. That's just me.
That's where I stand on Vlad Jr. Go Vlad. Have a great season. Fair. I'm looking forward to it.
Fair. Other moves in this lineup, we're getting to see George Springer. He will be playing right field, which I had him on my top 10 center field list. Which I would change because, like you said, Kevin Kiermaier will be playing center field for this team next season. They get him. He's one of the best defensive center fielders in baseball. Yes, the bat isn't great, but he is a lefty, brings another lefty to their lineup, which is something they struggled with in the last couple years, and he will be manning center field for them. Brandon Belt, overrated free agent signing, in my opinion.
Definitely.
I think they're banking too much on him having a great year when last season in the games he did play, it wasn't great. I understand that in 2021 he played fantastic with the Giants, but I think they are banking on him to have a really, really good year. And I could be coming back at the end of the season and being like, that was a underrated free agent signing rather than an overrated, but I think currently it's overrated. People are acting like they just signed another Vlad Guerrero Jr.
Oh yeah, it's definitely an overrated signing, especially, I don't know if you frequent or any of our viewers frequent the side of Blue Jays Twitter too much. Everyone is extremely high on Brandon Belt, especially within the Blue Jays fandom, which I don't understand. He is going to be 35 years old this season, and as Alex mentioned, he did regress from his 2021 miracle run that the entire Giants organization went on. I think he's probably the most overrated signing. I don't think he'll do too much, and genuinely, if you told me by the All-Star break, before the All-Star break, we're talking about how they have a different player in the outfield and George Springer is DHing games for them, I would not be shocked at all.
That's fair. I mean, like I said, it depends on how he bounces back after not playing many games last season and being not great in those games. Not horrible, I'd say, but not great. So yeah. The main guy I want to talk about here that they did acquire this offseason is Lourdes Gurriel Jr. In this lineup, at least.
Yeah, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. on the Blue Jays.
I'm an idiot. I'm such an idiot. They traded Lourdes Gurriel Jr. I apologize.
There we go. He's learning.
My sincere apologies. The guy I do want to talk about that they traded for this offseason is Dalton Varsho, who they traded Lourdes Gurriel Jr. and Gabriel Moreno to the Diamondbacks for. I apologize for my verbal mistake there. But really good move. When you get rid of Lourdes Gurriel, and they got rid of Teoscar Hernandez, we'll talk about that return in a little bit. It's a big plus to their outfield because their outfield defense was not good the last couple of years. When you have Teoscar and Lourdes Gurriel, two of the worser, what's the word I'm looking for? Two of the
minus defenders.
Minus defenders, yeah, two not great defenders in your corner outfield. It's not looking great, but now you get a guy like Dalton Varsho who is amazing in the outfield. And not only can he play the outfield, but God forbid something happens to one of your two catchers, he can also play catcher.
Yeah.
He's that guy. And as far as his bat goes, last season with the Diamondbacks, he hit 235 with a 106 WRC plus, 27 home runs though. So he does bring good qualities to the plate as well. I think the defense is the main thing here, and building that kind of elite outfield defense with Kiermaier, Varsho, and Springer. I think that was the main part of that trade. So I like that trade.
Yeah, I agree with you. Definitely looking forward to seeing how Dalton Varsho, a lefty, fits into this heavily right-handed batter lineup. He'll definitely be able to switch it up a little bit, make some very exciting moments out of an otherwise add more excitement to a very exciting Blue Jays lineup. I'm sorry, that's what I was trying to say. Do we think right now Fangraphs projects him to hit 29 homers and bat for a 246 average? The average is the one that I'm concerned about. Do you think he hits over or under a 246 average? Because obviously that's just a projection.
Can you repeat the question one more time?
Go on. No. Just say over under.
240 average. I'm gonna go
246.
I'm gonna go over.
Yes,
I think his bat improves this season.
I agree with you. I would also say over. I think Dalton Varsho in a lineup that has the George Springer, Bo Bichette, Vlad Guerrero, Alejandro Kirk even.
Don't even get me started on Short King.
There's so many bats to protect Dalton Varsho that pitchers are going to have to give him pitches in the zone because they don't want to pitch to the Vlads. They don't want to pitch to the Alejandro Kirks, the Bo Bichettes, the George Springers of the world. So we'll definitely see Dalton Varsho have more opportunity to produce on the offensive side of the ball, and I hope that he takes advantage of it.
Yeah, me too. Like you said, the guy you mentioned in there, Alejandro Kirk, we're going to mention him now just because, yes, he is listed on the bench, but like he is a big part of this team as well.
He's actually not, but okay.
No. I'm talking about one of the guys who is listed on the bench too.
Oh, okay.
We're going to talk about them both right now. I know Alejandro Kirk is their main catcher, but Danny Jansen is also their backup catcher who could be He could be their everyday DH. Mm-hmm. We need to talk about him now just so we could talk about both of them at the same time because they both had amazing years last year. When you look at Alejandro Kirk, I know he kind of came out of nowhere, which was amazing for them. And he played 139 games. Like, who really kind of saw that coming?
Not me.
Not to mention, he also batted 285 with an almost 800 OPS.
True.
It's just... this guy, Short King. Short King. I love Alejandro Kirk. There's nothing to not love about him. He plays good defense. He was very plus with the bat. He was an all-star. He just did it all last season.
Yeah.
And don't even get me started on Danny Jansen, who in 72 games last season hit 260 with an 855 OPS, had 15 home runs and 10 doubles. Just, I love Danny Jansen as well. So I think both of those guys are just plus catchers. And I think that was a good reason to get rid of the young guy in Gabriel Moreno that you had in your minor system. There was kind of no room for him. And it's fair when you think about it. Put him to a team where he's actually going to get playing time now in the Diamondbacks. He wasn't getting playing time here. These two catchers are too good. So that's my view.
And I do understand why you do love Alejandro Kirk so much. He's a short cane. You are short as well. So it all just fits in perfectly together. So a match made in heaven, if you will.
Thanks for reminding me.
You're welcome.
Another guy, Matt Chapman, who I feel like before last season, a lot of people said this was sneakily overrated pickup because of how bad his bat has been. But, his glove is still there. His glove is still going to be amazing. And I believe I said this before last season. I thought he was going to get better last season, and he did. He improved in most stat categories last season. And I think he will continue to improve this season as well. His strikeouts went down by a lot. He played more games, and his strikeouts, he had 32 less strikeouts. He went from 202 to 170. I think he's going to continue to improve, and I think Matt Chapman will be a bigger part than people realize to this team.
Okay. I like it.
We need to get on to their bench.
Yeah.
Do you have any
about their bench?
Do you have anything more to say about their lineup before we move on?
No. Let's get to that bench.
All right, their bench. We gave their bench a 5.7 out of 10. Some may say that's criminally low. Let
it be known, I would give him a 10.
Danny Jansen, Santiago Espinal, Nathan Lukes, and that's it.
Hey!
Cavan Biggio!
Yeah, baby!
Lewis is a Cavan Biggio.
In case anyone was wondering.
Okay, oh my god, he's going for it. He's turning the... Oh my.
Yeah, baby!
Wear it like that for the rest of the...
Of course. Let's fucking go Cavan Biggio.
Okay, Lewis loves Cavan Biggio.
Fucking electric.
I'd argue it's just because he has his jersey.
I loved it before
he didn't deny it.
I loved it before the jersey.
But Cavan Biggio, let's not, bullshit aside, he is not the biggest plus in this lineup. He can be. He will be. But when you put him next to guys like Danny Jansen and Santiago Espinal, he is definitely the lower. Nathan Lukes is a guy who hasn't even played in the majors yet. Has he made his debut? I want to say no. No, he hasn't even made his debut, so I'm not quite sure why Fangraphs has him listed. I'm not sure if he's expected to be there. Can't say much on Nathan Lukes. My bad for stuttering. Cavan Biggio, Danny Jansen, Santiago Espinal. That is wild.
Cavan fucking Biggio.
Santiago Espinal
is amazing.
It's funny, on their bench, he's actually the second best second baseman on their bench.
Who?
Cavan Biggio.
Oh, Santiago Espinal? Yeah.
Santiago Espinal had a very good season. He put together a very good season. I honestly, if I'm looking back on it, Blue Jays bench should have probably had a higher score. But it's too late, isn't it?
Way too late.
Way too late.
Cavan Biggio fucking clears. Let's throw Cavan Biggio. Let's throw Blue Jays. Let's throw Cavan Biggio. Can we close out the episode?
All right, moving on. Let's get to their defense. We give their defense an 8 out of 10. Well-deserved. Yeah. Could have even gone higher. I just explained the best outfield in baseball defensively. George Springer, Dalton Varsho, and Kevin Kiermaier. Not to mention you have Vladdy, who won a gold glove at first base. Matt Chapman, who has won a platinum glove at third base. The only really negative in this defense is Bo Bichette, who was not good defensively last year. He got a lot of shit for it. Hopefully he can improve, but I think regardless, it's still a really, really good defensive team.
Yeah, and you can't forget about the fact that their bench also has very good defense, and that's not even about Cavan Biggio.
Yeah.
Santiago Espinal plays amazing at second base, as well as Danny Jansen behind the plate. If he does get more opportunities to catch, we could be talking about how he is a very, very good plus defender behind the dish.
How's Cavan Biggio defensively? I will be fact-checking this.
Fucking platinum glover.
I
mean, he is just the best there ever has been, the best there ever will be. Absolutely amazing player. Looking forward to watching him play first base, second base. Maybe we'll see a few games at third, and then definitely corner outfield.
Played a lot in the outfield last season.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to say that
minus arm, but doesn't matter. He's the fastest man on earth.
His UZR in the outfield last
Go ahead and
season
enlighten
was
everybody
negative.
what UZR is.
It is ultimate zone. It's ultimate zone runs. It's just like this cumulative defensive stat that takes like all the metrics and kind of brings it together. So he was minus in that. That's all I'll say.
It's fine.
But yeah,
His fielding percentage within the outfield, 100%.
I accidentally said runs. I meant rating. That's my fault. But yeah, ultimate zone rating was negative.
It's fair.
In the outfield last season was negative at second base. .02 at second base. So
Yes,
he's
sir.
not a 2+
Yes,
defender. Okay,
sir.
you keep your Kevin Biggio over there. All right, moving to their pitching. This should be fun. Their rotation, we gave them an 8.2 out of 10. Good rotation.
Very good.
Alek Manoah, Kevin Gossman, Jose Barrios, Chris Bassett, and Yusei Kikuchi.
I say Kakachi.
Nice. How long were you thinking of that one?
Since the moment we started.
Okay. Kevin Gossman, yes, you look at Alek Manoah as the ace of the staff. Kevin Gossman, if you look at advanced stats, was one of the better pitchers in baseball last season. Like one of the elite pitchers in baseball last season when you look at advanced stats, advanced metrics. I don't know how much into sabermetrics everyone is, but he was very good. So I think this season, if he can get the ERA down, I think it'll show even more. Alek Manoah, dominant. Amazing. Should not have been top 3 in Cy Young, I will say.
Amen.
But he was very, very good. Jose Barrios kind of had an up and down year. Very hit or miss with Jose Barrios.
Quite literally.
Yeah. Chris Bassett, a guy, I love this pickup.
Great signing.
They signed him in free agency this offseason. He was a Met last year. He played really good. They picked him up on a 3-year, $63 million contract. Last season, he had a 3.42 ERA in 181 innings pitched throughout 30 games. Really, really good pitcher. Just kind of adds to their pitching staff because they lost Hyun-Jin Ryu. He had Tommy John surgery in June of last season, so he'll be back hopefully by like August or September of this season, which obviously is not early. So getting another guy to kind of take over in Chris Bassett is really important, and they did just that. Yusei Kikuchi is also a wild card, I'd argue.
Well, so far this spring, he looks like the front runner for Cy Young.
Yeah, this spring training, he's been very good, so we'll see.
Yep.
We'll see. It's spring training, so take everything with a grain of salt.
Nope, take this with a fucking truckload of it. Yusei Kikuchi for Cy Young.
What's up with you and then just Blue Jays, like...
Go Birds.
Go Birds. Go Birds. Moving to their bullpen, just so we can get the pitching staff kind of as a whole. We gave their bullpen a 7.5 out of 10. It was a issue for a lot of last season and the season before that. They did not have a good bullpen. So what did they do? They traded Teoscar Hernandez for Eric Swanson, a guy who was a very, very good reliever last season. I think he went very under the radar in Seattle, which a lot of Seattle relievers kind of went under the radar. He had a 1.68 ERA in 57 games. Yes, as a reliever, he did not give up that many runs. He had an expected ERA of 2.30, which I'm taking that with a grain of salt. But very good stats as a reliever. And I think based on that and the fact that they also last season got Anthony Bass and Mitch White towards the end of last season, I think lots looking good there.
Yeah, I can understand that. Obviously, you cannot forget about the heavy hitters like the Jordan Romanos, who are set up to be their closer, who is set up to be their closer this season.
Yeah, Jordan Romano.
I'm looking forward to watching him pitch. I feel like I mostly remember him for the Aaron Judge walk-off. However, he was very solid, very, very solid, and definitely if he does get to higher leverage situations down the stretch this season, and if they do make a run in the playoffs, hopefully, we're talking about how Jordan Romano could be one of the game's best closers. He has so much potential, so much upside. Again, another guy, as Alex mentioned earlier, with advanced stats, another guy that the advanced stats and the numbers could show that he has the potential to be one of the greatest closers in the game of baseball.
Yeah, And not just that, they still have more names that we haven't even mentioned. Yimi Garcia, Tim Meza. Can you do that again?
What?
Do it again. Come on. Yimi Garcia.
Tim Meza again.
Oh, wow. Adam Simber and Trevor Richards are some guys we didn't mention either who are just solid bullpen arms. I think I give them a lot of credit. Not to mention Chad Green, who had Tommy John surgery last June. Mm-hmm. He'll be back probably like August, September-ish, but
probably August. August is, I think, a good timetable for his return. I don't think that...
We don't know. It depends. Every team does it differently.
Yeah.
Depends. It's case to case, so we'll see. They did sign him to a 2-year deal that could go to 3 years. So we'll see if what happens, because I think they mostly signed him for year 2, potentially year 3.
I think that they're going to not rush him, but definitely urge him to get back earlier, especially if they're in a playoff race. Because Chad Green, I mean, you and I have seen it firsthand. He can be very, very good. Hopefully, if he fully recovers from Tommy John and is on track and is able to come back in August, maybe like right after the All-Star game, right after the All-Star break, like that first week of August, then we could be talking about how the bullpen is now bolstered up entirely and they're ready to go.
Yeah. I agree. I'm liking it. They didn't really lose too many pitchers from this staff this season. Ross Stripling is really the only notable one who signed with the Giants on a 2-year deal. But like we said, their pitching staff, especially their starting pitching, is going to be just fine. So I'm not too worried about that. Yeah. Do you have any other kind of big general ideas or anything specific about their pitching staff this season before we move on to their coaching?
Not really. I think we summed it all up pretty well as best as we could. Looking forward to the combined no-hitter on August 13th. It'll be a lot of fun. A lot of fun to watch that combined no-hitter.
Okay.
Hey,
I just don't know how to react to that.
You gotta throw the darts out there.
Their coaching, we gave their coaching an 6.8 out of 10. I think that's pretty fair considering Charlie Montoyo was fired last season. They got John Schneider, and John Schneider, I believe, is still the coach this season. So we'll see how he turns out in a full season.
I think he'll definitely be an improvement, and hopefully, I mean, this bullpen definitely has the right pieces to make the right decisions, as well as the bench and the lineup. The construction of it can be very unique and different as compared to what Charlie Montoyo had last year before he got released of his duties. So I'm hoping that we see a very much improved team.
Yeah. I do too.
Yeah.
And I think he can work with that improved team. But like we said, we kind of have to see him for a full season, see how he does. Because even like, you can say, yes, he kind of took over and was really good with John Schneider. They were 46-28. Let's just see what they got in the full season.
Yeah, for
Let's
sure.
see what they got in the tank. So 6.8 there. And then as far as energy goes, we gave them a 9.7. I feel like that's warranted. Bo Bichette, fucking Vladdy Jr., Alek Manoah, Yusei Kikuchi, Kevin Biggio.
Kevin Biggio, baby.
All right, I knew you were going to stop me when I said that. Who else do we have?
Santiago Espinal. He gets loud in the dugout. He's
KK,
fun.
Kevin Kiermaier.
Kevin Kiermaier. He's very relaxed, but can have his moments of excitement.
This team just as a whole is like one that has fun. They have a lot of fun doing what they love, and they play with kind of a flair at all times, which is I kind of love from them.
You know what I'm just now realizing? 3 second-generation players. I don't know if I've ever noticed this before.
How?
Vladdy Guerrero Jr., Bo Bichette, and Kevin Biggio. I'm just now realizing.
Lewis?
I know this has probably been known.
This is no new information. This has been going around since you are...
Like 3 years.
What year is it?
Yeah.
You are 4 years late.
4 years
2019,
late.
this has been going on.
I'm just now realizing that. Holy shit. That's pretty cool.
That's impressively bad that you just realized that.
Yeah. Wow.
Impressive. Anyway, yeah. So if you were counting at home, we gave them a total score of 54.4 out of the total 70 possible. That brings them to, like I said, the 7th best team in baseball and the 3rd best team in the American League. So, Lewis, give us a rookie report. Tell us about some rookies, or a rookie from this team.
A rookie report for the Toronto Blue Jays. All right, let me go ahead and get everything pulled up just because the my website here crashed. So let me just get everything back here. Oh my god! Oh my god!
All right, well we'll skip
Stall,
it.
stall,
We'll skip
stall.
it for now.
No, we cannot.
We are skipping it for now.
We cannot
Lewis.
skip the rookie report.
Lewis, we are skipping it for now.
Don't you ever fucking
MVP, pitcher and hitter for this team this season. MVP pitcher, who you got?
MVP pitcher, a little bit chalk, but I am going to go with Chris Bassett.
Chris Bassett. It's not too chalk.
Not chalk at all.
Not chalk.
Who are you going with?
I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go chalk. Actually, I'll say Kevin Gossman. You can say that's chalk, but I'm gonna go Kevin Gossman over Alek Manoah. I was gonna go Alek Manoah. Last second, I remembered Kevin Gossman's advanced stats are very good. So.
All right.
MVP hitter, who you got?
I'm kind of basic, kind of stupid, kind of just. I think everyone knows what I'm going to go with here.
Okay, go.
Kevin Biggio will be a 300 hitter off the bench, baby. Kevin fucking Biggio.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Bo Bichette. Just because I think he can bat 300. He can have 30 homers, 40 doubles. So I'd love to see that from Bo Bichette. Have a good quality year. Bo Bichette. Yeah. So, now is usually where the ending of the episode comes, but we'll move back to the rookie report now.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
there you go.
So the rookie that I am going to highlight, just because the rookie depth within the prospect depth within the Blue Jays organization is rather thin. We're going to pivot over to Nathan Lukes, who we mentioned earlier is going to be on their bench according to Fangraphs on opening day. The lefty outfielder seems to be solid. Last year in AAA, over the course of 111 games, he had a total of 122 hits, which is very high for most of the prospects that we've talked about, with a 285 average, a 789 OPS. Looked pretty solid, knew when to take his walks, had almost 50 walks at 47, and kept his strikeouts under 90 at 89 over the course of, again, 111 games where he hit 11 homers and 61 RBIs. I think if given the opportunity to produce at the major league level, we could see some solid production, and maybe, depending on what goes on with the lineup down the stretch especially, maybe we'll see him get some starts.
Okay. I like it. What?
Yeah, so as for the rest of the episode, I think this is the part where I say...
Stop it right now. Did just want to tell the story about how, 3 weeks ago, their manager also did save someone's life when they were choking.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Love John Schneider. Clap it up for John.
John Schneider. Miracle worker.
Miracle. Anyway, so this is the part of the episode where I say the 2023 Blue Jays will be, and you will tell me what place in the AL East the Blue Jays will be in after the season. Lewis, the 2023 Toronto Blue Jays will be in...
Second place in the AL East.
Second place in the AL East. I agree with that.
No bias.
No bias whatsoever.
Let's
Second
go Kevin
place.
Biggio.
Let's go Blue Jays. Play your hearts out. Have fun. Be the team that we saw you be last year.
Make another movie.
Make another movie. Oh, their over-under at wins is 92.5, by the way.
Over.
Over?
Over.
So, thank you guys for watching, listening, viewing, subscribing, commenting, sharing, following. If you enjoyed, we love you. If you're still listening or watching, we love you as well. And let's go Jays, and we will see you guys in the next one.
Let's go Kevin Biggio,
Peace.
baby.